What if one of the most common financial beliefs repeated for years was only partially true? Imagine someone waking up every single morning determined to improve their financial future, carefully tracking every expense, avoiding expensive coffees, canceling subscriptions, cutting entertainment spending, and trying to save as much money as possible, all while believing that strict budgeting alone will eventually make them wealthy, only to suddenly realize after years of discipline that despite all the effort, real financial freedom still feels frustratingly far away. In fact, learning how to control spending, understand where money goes, and avoid financial chaos is one of the smartest habits anyone can develop, because without financial awareness, even high income can disappear quickly. Growth often comes from strategy, opportunity, learning, discipline, and long-term thinking working together. So today, we are uncovering the 10 biggest reasons why budgeting alone will not make you rich, and trust me, by the time we reach number 1, you may begin seeing money, success, and financial growth from a completely different perspective. Welcome back to the channel. 10. Budgeting helps you control money. One of the biggest reasons budgeting alone rarely creates wealth is because budgeting primarily teaches control rather than expansion, meaning it helps people understand where money goes, reduce waste, and make smarter decisions, but it does not magically increase income, create opportunities, or multiply resources by itself. Imagine someone earning a modest monthly salary and becoming incredibly disciplined, carefully planning every purchase, avoiding unnecessary spending, tracking bills, reducing subscriptions, and trying their absolute best to stretch every rupee or dollar as efficiently as possible. There is a natural limit to how much money someone can save when income itself remains limited. For example, imagine trying to save your way into massive wealth while your earnings barely cover essentials. Even perfect budgeting eventually hits a ceiling. And this is why financially successful people often understand an important distinction. 9. Rich people focus on growing income. One hidden truth about financially successful people is that many of them eventually stop obsessing over tiny expenses and begin focusing more energy on increasing their earning ability. Now, this does not mean they become careless with money. Many wealthy people remain highly intentional spenders. The first person spends years obsessively reducing spending but never improves skills, earning potential, or opportunities. The second person budgets responsibly but also learns communication, business skills, technology, leadership, marketing, or valuable professional abilities that improve opportunities over time. 10 years later, whose life looks different? Usually, the person who focused on growth alongside discipline. 8. Saving money alone does not always create wealth. Many people confuse saving with wealth building. But these are not always the same thing. Saving matters because it creates protection, confidence, and stability. However, simply accumulating money without direction does not automatically improve life outcomes. Imagine someone saving consistently for years but never learning new skills, never thinking long-term, never improving opportunities, and never creating systems that support financial growth. Eventually, progress slows. Because wealth often requires intentional strategy. This is why financially successful individuals frequently think about money differently. 7. Budgeting cannot replace valuable skills. Imagine someone becoming incredibly disciplined financially while ignoring personal growth completely. No effort to become more valuable professionally or personally. Now imagine someone else who budgets responsibly while constantly improving communication, leadership, technology, sales, creativity, problem-solving, or negotiation skills. The second person often increases opportunities naturally. Because skills influence income. Income influences options. And options influence freedom. This is why financially successful individuals often invest heavily in learning. They understand something important: the person you become often matters more than the spreadsheet you manage. Because better skills often create bigger opportunities than extreme frugality alone ever could. 6. Extreme budgeting can accidentally limit growth. Here is something people rarely talk about. Sometimes being too focused on saving becomes harmful. Imagine refusing to invest in education, useful tools, health, networking, mentorship, or skill building because every expense feels emotionally painful. The financially successful often think carefully before spending, but they also recognize the difference between wasteful spending and strategic spending. And this difference changes everything. 5. Wealth requires systems bigger than budgeting. Budgeting creates structure. But structure alone does not create freedom. Wealth often grows through systems. Income systems. Learning systems. Opportunity systems. Relationship systems. Imagine someone budgeting perfectly while depending entirely on one unstable paycheck and constantly feeling anxious. Now imagine someone budgeting while gradually building additional income opportunities, professional value, networks, and long-term plans. The second situation creates resilience. Because financial success often depends on building layers of protection and possibility rather than relying only on spending control. 4. Money problems are often emotional, not mathematical. This may surprise people. But financial struggles are frequently emotional before they become numerical. Stress spending. Comparison. Fear. Impulse buying. Lifestyle pressure. Trying to impress others. Shopping for emotional relief. Imagine building a perfect budget only to abandon it every month after stressful experiences. This happens constantly. Because humans are emotional. And budgeting cannot fully solve emotional behavior by itself. This is why financial psychology matters. Successful people often improve emotional discipline alongside money discipline. Because calm decisions protect futures better than emotional reactions. 3. Wealth requires long-term thinking. Budgeting often focuses attention on surviving this month. But wealth building frequently focuses attention on improving future years. Where are you going? What skills matter? What opportunities matter? What habits compound? Imagine constantly thinking short-term. How do I survive? How do I improve life 5 years from now? That difference changes behavior. And financially successful people often think in decades rather than weeks. 2. Rich people budget, but they also build. One of the biggest myths is believing rich people ignore budgets. Many actually budget carefully. But budgeting is rarely the whole strategy. They build businesses, develop skills, create investments, protect time, strengthen relationships, increase earning potential, create systems. Budgeting becomes a foundation, not the destination. And that distinction matters enormously. Because financial growth usually requires both discipline and expansion. 1. The biggest truth. Budgeting helps you stay organized. Here is the biggest lesson of all. Budgeting is like building a strong foundation for a house. Because no matter how strong the foundation becomes, the house still needs walls, structure, planning, effort, and long-term vision. Financially successful people understand this deeply. Budgeting reduces waste, creates awareness, protects progress, improves discipline. But wealth usually grows when budgeting combines with learning, opportunity, skill building, smart decisions, emotional control, patience, and consistent action over time. Because the real goal is not simply spending less forever. The real goal is creating a life where money stress decreases while opportunity increases. And that future rarely grows from budgeting alone. Comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more financial psychology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.